Hello everyone, it is Jazz here. Today is the 7th and final day of BookTubeAthon, and I really wanted to do the video challenge today because it is such a really cool challenge, but also it's the last one. And I thought in addition I would do a little summary after I'd done the challenge of the books that I'd gotten read over the week. The challenge today is to tell a story about an experience that you had with a book that you read. I decided to tell my story about Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte because, first of all, it is one of my favorite classic books and also one of my favorite books, but also I think it has one of the better book stories, so I decided to go with this one. The very first copy of Jane Eyre that I ever had when I was 12, it was obviously not this copy. It was a really battered, torn up copy, and the reason it was battered and torn up was because it originally belonged to my best friend at the time. My best friend's mom had gotten her the book at a garage sale, and it was beat up. I don't even think that it even still had the cover on it. But my friend had zero interest in reading Jane Eyre ever, and so I said I'll take it because I had heard of the book, I think either from TV or something like that, and I really loved reading classic books anyway. So I brought the book home, and it was around the time that I was going to the American Dance Festival dance camp. It's basically a camp that they, at the time, and I think still do, hold at Duke University. I was in the youth division of that, and I basically, when I was 12, for that summer, went and lived on the Duke University campus with like a roommate and all that stuff in like the dorms. The dorms had a mandatory lights out policy, and you had to have your lights out at 10 for just safety purposes. So I am not somebody that can ever go to sleep at 10 o'clock. I'm not an early sleeper really at all. I was really lucky that I brought that battered copy of Jane Eyre with me because basically what I would do is I would curl up in my dorm bedroom bed and get my flashlight out, and I would read Jane Eyre by flashlight in the dark in the dorm room. And I had such a great time really just connecting with the characters in this book. I teared up a few times. I had a really lovely journey reading just the book at night in the dark, and I always have my best experiences reading books in the dark, even though it's bad for your eyes, so that's probably why I remember this experience the best. So this is one of those books where I just remember exactly where I was when I read it, and exactly what was going on in my life when I read it, and exactly how much it meant to me. The time when I read that old copy of Jane Eyre when I was 12 was probably the only time that I had what you guys on here call a book mourning period or a book hangover. When I finished Jane Eyre, I was like, I just can't read anything after this yet. And I did try to read other stuff after it, and I was just like, nope, nope. Jane Eyre was too good. I gotta take a moment. Now on to a little summary of the books that I ended up reading in their entirety during the BookTubeAthon. So I did finish Tuck Everlasting by Natalie Babbitt and Neil Gaiman's A Game of You, the fifth Sandman graphic novel, in the same day on the very first day. I also finished Living with Dyspraxia, and the fourth book that I completed was Juniper Lemon's Happiness Index, which was the BookTubeAthon book, if you will. Over the week, I finished 4 books in total, and I'm probably not going to finish any more than that, only because I have like huge books left to complete, and let's face it, there's only a few more hours left, so that's not particularly realistic. But in River of Blue Fire, I did end up surpassing my goal, which was to get through like the first part of the book, and I actually ended up getting through most of the second part. And I did read the very first chapter of The Three Musketeers and a little bit more, and I might read more of this today. And on A Clash of Kings, I went from being at around chapter 2 to being at the start of chapter 11, which means I'm about 125 pages into A Clash of Kings, and there's still a few more hours left in BookTubeAthon from the time that I'm filming this, so I may get a little bit more of those read, but I'm really happy with what I've read on those very thick books, and whatever I don't read can just roll over to the Tome Topple readathon, which starts this week. Am I right? This is a wrap on the BookTubeAthon 2017 videos. I will probably definitely be doing this again next year because I had such a good time reading and chatting with different people about different things and posting the pictures for the challenges on Instagram, and it was just a really good old fun time. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all later. Goodbye!